Have you ever gotten down on yourself about learning some hard lessons, but then you're conflicted between whether you should be down on yourself because had you not went through or experienced what you experienced, you may not have learned those hard lessons? Like, do you ever just think about that? Because I have. I've been thinking about it, and I've been thinking about how my tendency to be overly understanding, giving people grace, and being kind has been one of my biggest forms of self betrayal to myself. And I just keep thinking about past situations with men and women that the signs were there, but I ignored them. I bypassed the signs that were there to be understanding, give grace, because, people make mistakes. We all make mistakes. That's what that's how I would reason with myself. So and this is kind of like another red flags to notice. We're dealing with, I'm mostly going to talk about when dealing with men and dealing with women too, as far as like friendships go, but it's probably not going to be as many of them because I haven't really had too many, I'm pretty sure I have, but I just probably haven't noticed as much of situations where I should have seen the red flags with dealing with men and women. So, red flags to notice about men. And this don't even have to be to see whether they would be a good romantic partner. This is just to see if they like what type of character they have. And everybody values are not the same. So some of the stuff that I name may not be a red flag to you, but I don't see how it wouldn't be a red flag to some people, but hey, whatever. So one thing that I should have noticed about someone to know that they were not safe as a friend or romantically is that this person joked about sexually assaulting me. Can I say that on YouTube? This person joked about essaying me. I hope this video don't get taken down. I'm gonna see. But any person that can joke about essaying somebody is not like the type of person who would make a good friend or romantic partner, in my opinion. Because why would you joke about it? And then this person that did that, they know me. They know a lot of stuff about me. They know they know my history. They knew what happened to me when I was young. So, like, to even joke about that, period, and then to joke about it, knowing the history that somebody has is like crazy. But this goes back to me not recognizing that I was not above anybody's bad behavior. There was always signs, but I gave grace. I made excuses, reasoned, because I was like, this person is my friend. But this person wasn't really a safe place for me. And that should have been a red flag. I should have known way before it even got to the point about them joking about essaying me. What else? Other red flags. How somebody shows up for you when you're grieving, especially somebody who claims to care about you. If they're overly selfish and self-centered, being egregiously deceptive towards you while you're grieving, that is a sign of a red flag. Because most people who care about you, especially when you're going through a hard time, they're going to genuinely, sincerely be there for you. Um, that is another red flag. And I had that experience with a man and a woman. Um, During the time where I needed people to show up for me most, they didn't. That was when I lost my dad earlier last year. And I actually had a female as well who decided not to communicate with me because she thought that I was upset with her about something when I was in a period of grief. So, um, that's a red flag. People who take your moments of grief and make it about themselves. What else is a red flag to notice in friendships and romantic partners? I don't want to name the same stuff that I named in my other video about red flags. What else? What else? What else? I had a lot of red flags in my head before I turned on the camera. I don't know where they went. I should have made me a little bullet point notepad. But yeah. Yep. Oh, I think I mentioned the ways that men give backhanded compliments in my last red flag video. Of course, women do that too. I've actually had a friend who, was talking. I ain't even gonna get into that. I'm gonna have to come back another time with that one. Cause that one, that just goes deeper beyond a red flag type stuff. So I'm gonna have to come back to that one. Yeah, some of this stuff is wildly ridiculous. I might have to like do a subscription to share some of this stuff because it's just like y'all would not believe. Y'all would not believe. What are some other simple red flags that I can name? People who are trying to rush being in a relationship, whether it's romantic or friendship with you, that is a red flag. Red flag. I had this guy do this to me, and he was an older guy too. And he was pretty much looking for somebody that could help him. Like he was pretty much waiting to get a spouse so that they could help him with his hip surgery. He'd been waiting on hip surgery. And I'm just like, sir, no. I know I look kind. I know I look sweet. I know I seem very nurturing or whatever. I am not finna be tending to your hip. I am not. And the fact that you waiting this long to get it when you could have been got that hip surgery, sir, I'm not finna be your, no. Nah, let's just say if I got married to a man and then something happened to him and then I have to be his caregiver, of course I'm going to do that. But the fact that you trying to bum rush me into a marriage just so I could be there to, no. Get somebody else to do it. And what else? I had one that I was going to say and then I forgot because I started talking about it. Oh, another red flag to notice in men. I think I look my age. And maybe that's because I know how old I am. But I get approached by a lot of guys. I don't know if I mentioned this. I have mentioned this, but I'm gonna give us more details around the story. I had this guy, very handsome, follow me around the store. I was walking into a store. He was, as soon as I walked in the door, he was like, just stepped back, looked at me. He was like, being extra, really. I mean, I don't think I'm a bad looking person, but he was being extra. I walk in the door. He stops and, oh my God, you're beautiful. Oh my God, you look so good. Blah, blah, blah. And so I'm just smiling, saying thank you, just smiling, saying thank you. He continues to, he was on his way out the store, but he comes back in the store to follow me around and say, stop it, still telling me I'm beautiful and stopping other people. Y'all, look at her. Ain't she gorgeous? Ain't she beautiful? Blah, just going on and on and on. I'm just like, sir, this is awkward. So after that, he finally stopped me. He was like, I want to get to know you. Can I have your number? Like, I was like, sure. I was a little hesitant because I'm like, you doing too much. But he, like I said, he was attractive. I'm just like, but why not? But I should have not even went that far because all of that told me enough. But me being me, I'm like, oh, maybe I'm misunderstanding him. He's just misunderstood. Blah, 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 blah. Negotiation and trying to reason with my intuition and discernment. And so as I'm getting out my phone to give him my number, he was like, how old are you? And then I told him how old I was. And he said, oh, you the same age as me. Sir, what is wrong? What is wrong with that? Because if you saying I'm too old, and that means you calling yourself old. What is wrong with you? But he's like, I thought you was 21. I was like, no. He's like, oh, okay. Left out the store, didn't even get my number. Red flag. Because why you needed me to be that young? Why? I'm the same age as you. Why? Walked out, didn't get my number, but he kept looking back at me. He's like, you look good. And shaking his head and putting his head down like he was just so disappointed. Weird. Those are the type of interactions that I be having. It's weird. What other red flag? And honestly, those are like the two biggest ones. Like the guy with the hip and then the guy who wanted me to be 21. I'm just like, I don't know if I want to call this a red flag, but since I'm telling about weird experiences with men, I went on this date with this guy, and he thought I was younger too. And in all my life, this was my first time experiencing this. Like I see the memes about it on social media, where like the man who ain't got no job, or the man who is with the bigger lady during tax time, and he's got his arms all around her and waiting on her to pay the bills and stuff like that. So the guy asked me out on a date. I went on a date with him. When I first met him, he was talking in third person. That should have been my sign, but I was like reasoning. Like I be way too understanding. I gotta stop. Well, I have stopped that. I'm not. I hadn't did that one time in 2026. Thank you. I'm so proud of myself. I am so proud of myself. And actually, I stopped at the end of 2025, and I'll loop back to tell about that too. But anyway, so the guy was the guy. He we went on a date or whatever, and usually, and I've been getting better with this. I want to start showing up to dates at least 10 minutes earlier, because I know most men, they usually be a little bit early when it comes to the date. They be there 10 minutes before whatever time we're supposed to meet. So I want to start doing that too, to show them that I respect their time. So I got there like right at the time we were supposed to meet. Not a minute before, not a minute after, right at the time. And I was like, why ain't he here yet? So I messaged him on the social media app, because I I don't be liking to get my number out until I'm like really like we there. Like I'm into you, then I give you my number. Like it really don't make no difference, but I don't know. That's just my thing. So he shows up late, wrinkled. First of all, when I go on a date, I be trying to look nice, baby, because I don't want to be hard to look at when you with me. This man shows up wrinkled, completely wrinkled. I was like, oh, okay. He ain't think enough of me to iron his clothes. So anyway, he he get there too late for us to watch the movie, and the man at the register is telling him like you can go in now, but it's already 20 minutes into the movie, and this is a movie that he really wanted to see. So he's like, "No, I don't want to do that." No, it wasn't that. The movie had started, but it was still like during the preview time. But the thing was, the previews and stuff had started, but also we would have to sit right in front of the screen, and I don't like that, and he didn't like that, and I was like, I don't mind waiting. We had to wait like an hour and a half for the next movie to show. Or whatever. I was like, I'm good. He was leaving it up to me, but I was like, no, I don't like doing that either. You don't like doing that either. I'm fine with waiting. That's fine. No problem. And so he was like, well, we want to do that. And so we can get better seats. And the man was like, okay, that'll be however much the ticket was. This man pulls out a Ziploc bag with loose bills in there. Ain't nothing wrong with that. It seemed a little suspicious to me. I'm just like, yeah. Is he in his early 20s? Am I on a date with somebody who just got out of high school? I'm just being honest. That's what I thought. It may sound judgmental, but those are the thoughts that went across my head or my mind. So he didn't have enough cash, and so he get to dig around. So I'm thinking he finna pull out a card, which he didn't, but he did have one. And he had more cash, but I was like, oh, this might be embarrassing for him. Let me just pay the difference. I think the difference was like $2 or something like that. I was like, I got $2. I'll pay the $2, which was already like, I'm definitely not doing this again. Like, no. I know people are having hard times, but this ain't where I'm trying to be right now, especially with dating at my age. So we get the tickets, we go sit down to the bar to wait for the movie to start. And so while we're waiting for the movie to start, he's like, I'm looking at the drink menu. He's like, you want something? I said, I don't know. He was like, you can get something if you want something, because I'm finna go get us some snacks and popcorn. Do you want something? I said, no, I'm fine, because I'm thinking you couldn't pay for the ticket, so you finna go buy some popcorn? He was like, no, we need to have snacks for the movie. I was like, if you insist. He said, but I'll wait on the snacks and I'll just go ahead and get you the drink. I was like, okay. I told him what drink I want. He goes to he said, I'm gonna get one too. It looks pretty good. So he goes off to get the drinks. So I think, and when he comes back, he only brings one cup. I was like, interesting that he had money to pay for the drink. And then interesting that he only came back with one cup. I said, well, maybe he decided that he wasn't going to get himself anything to drink. He pulls 2 straws out of his pocket. And then I'm just like, oh, because I'm thinking maybe he think I like 2 straws. My best friend does that. So maybe he think it's a thing that women do. Cool. He pulls 1 straw out, open it, and put the straw in the drink and start drinking out the cup. And I'm just like, I said, they still making mine? He said, oh no, that was too expensive. That was $20 for one. So I didn't want to get that. I was like, oh, okay. Which I'm thinking, okay, $20 is too much for one drink. But yeah. When you was gonna let me know that you wasn't able to get to, I could have got I would have got my own. I'm here now. I want to, might as well stay and watch the movie. A friend told me I should have got up and left, but I was like, the guy already got a ticket, so I'll just stay and watch the movie. I don't want to be disrespectful. This man has nerve to ask me, you don't want none? No, sir. I just met you. I do not want to be swapping spit with you. I just met you. Like, no. So, we had a movie. He couldn't buy the 2 drinks, but yet he going to buy a big thing of popcorn, which is almost next to $20 too nowadays. But I just let him do it. And then when we got in there, I got so turned off. Okay. I'm not gonna go no more into this story, but I did have to tell him, I'm sorry. I can't. I'm not interested. I'm sorry. It did get more interesting, but I'm just gonna leave it there because that's not what I came here to do. I didn't come here to give full details of one of the dates from hell. And he was a nice guy. He really was. But just not for me. And I do want to say this part. Since I kind of alluded to it when I first started telling this story about how, the men be at it with the women with tax money, the women that got money, whatever. So I couldn't take it no more. And I did want the drink because the drink looked like it was good. So I went and got my own. And while they're paying for my drink, he's standing behind me and wrapped his arms around me while I'm paying on a date he invited me on and acting like I'm his sugar mama. And the guy asked me for my ID. And he was like, he didn't ask me for my ID. He asking you for your ID. That means you look good. You look young. He's like, but it is hard to tell that you are of age to drink though. And I was like, I don't think so. I think that's just something that they do to women, to kind of make us feel good. And he's like, no, man, how old you think she is? Because he thought I was 25. And the guy at the original was like 21, 22. He was like, see, he thinking young. I was like, I told him how old I was, but for some reason he still heard 25. But I told him how old I was. And then, what the heck? I'm telling this part, so I feel like I got to tell the rest of it to tell how my age came back up for him to finally know how old I was. So, turns out the man does not even have a car. And I found this out when we was waiting an hour and a half when he asked me could he put his stuff in my car, and I was like, how did you get here? Because he told me he lived like 15, 20 minutes away. So I was like, how did you get here? He didn't really say. So I assumed since he didn't come in a car, he came on a bike. No, he walked. He walked. This man walked to the movie theater. So this means he did leave. He had to leave at least an hour and a half to get to the movies. Yeah, because I ended up taking him home and the drive was like a 15-minute drive by. It was by car. So walking. Yeah. But anyway, while we were in my car, while I'm taking him home, he mentions my age again. He's, asking me, do I want kids? I'm thinking, yeah, I might want one more. I can do one more before I hit, a certain age. I got one more in me, if that's something that the man who I'm in committed relationship would want, even though I'm good, I don't have to. He's like, but you 25, so, you should be good. I was like, no, I told you how old I was. He said, how old are you? And then I told him how old I was again. He's like, oh, wow. He said, so do you already have kids? I said, mm-hmm. He's like, oh, I didn't think you were that old. I said, well, how old are you? I was kind of afraid to ask, given the events of the night, because it didn't seem like this man is the same age as me. Same age. Same exact age as me. But anyway, so I dropped him off And the next day, I ain't tell him then. I wasn't gonna tell him right then while I was dropping him. I was like, I don't want to, I don't want to go no further. But I did tell him the next day because I didn't want to waste his time. I was like, yeah, well, I can't do it. He's like, can you tell me why? And I was like, it's like you just not my. We don't align. And he's like, but I can improve. You got to give me a chance to do. But I was like, no, that's not fair to you. It's not. But he was a nice guy though. I really feel like he was a nice guy, but like, yeah. So the next I was gonna talk about another story, but I don't remember what it was. I think I said I was gonna go back to it, but I can't remember what I was gonna go back to. Must have been meant for me to talk about because I can't recall. But anyway, yeah. Oh, I remember something that I was proud of myself for doing when it comes to not being in alignment with a guy. This one guy who I was dealing with, and we didn't really deal with each other. We met in 2023, at the beginning of 2023. And he was just weird. But at first he was a real gentleman. But then after a few months of conversing with each other, he started being very sexually inappropriate with me. And it turned me off because I'm like, sir, you don't know me well enough to be talking to me like that. We haven't even been conversing long enough for you to feel comfortable enough to be that inappropriate with me. So he stopped being like mildly inappropriate and got disrespectfully inappropriate. And then I had to let him know how I felt about it. So he unfollowed me on social media. And then at the tail end of last year, he reemerged. And I shouldn't have started talking to him. I shouldn't have started back talking to him because first of all, you're not even following me. But you know about everything I'm posting on my page still. You in my stories, you in my messages. But you're not even following me. So how what are you doing? But anyway, so he gets sexually inappropriate with me again. And this time I didn't tell him how I felt about it. I said, block. And I was so happy to do it because that was my first time being that firm in one of my boundaries. That was my first time being that firm in one of my non-negotiables without making excuses for people, without being too understanding, without giving too much grace. And I was so proud of me. I did a little dance after I did it. I did a dance. I was so excited. I called my best friend. I told her, I said, girl, you won't believe I did it. I was happy about that because that was my first time ever being like, no. Because usually I let it get so bad to the point where I lose all respect for a person. Like it has to get so bad till it's leaving too many things that I got to recover from with a person. But this time I didn't even allow that to happen. And I was proud of that. Oh, I got food in my nails. But anyway. So, yeah. So I was proud of that. Like, yeah, I'm not, my eyes are open. My boundaries are firmer. And I just can't play about me. I can't play about me anymore because I played about me too much to the point it allowed people to play with me. And yeah. So I think I started this video off by saying, like, have you ever been down on yourself about some of the hard lessons you learned, but then you wonder, would you ever really have learned the lesson if you wouldn't have went through those hard things? Anyway, I am going to stop the video right here. If you're new here, my name is Latrice. Here's what I think out loud. Name patterns that keep us stuck and reflect honestly. If anything here resonated with you, feel free to take what you need. And if not, feel free to leave the rest. Also, if you're here and you're watching, share some red flags that you notice. Like, especially if you're a man and you're watching, please share some red flags that you notice about women. I would like to hear them. I would like to discuss in the comments. Like, I don't get but a handful of views, but I do see the views. So if you over here viewing, feel free to talk to me. I'm, I know by now, you can tell that I'm a kind person. I don't bite. You can talk to me. But yeah, that's all. And I will be back tomorrow.